My entire prediction is that we are coming to a place where we absolutely have a sense of emergency. We have to engage because our world is under a lot of turmoil. Okay. And as we do that, we have a very, very good possibility of making things better. But if we don't, my expectation is that we will be going through a very unfamiliar territory between now and the end of the 2030s.
Unfamiliar territory.
Yeah, I think I may have said it, but it's definitely on my notes. I think for our way of life, as we know it, it's game over. Our way of life is never going to be the same again. Jobs are going to be different. Truth is going to be different. The polarization of power is going to be different. The capabilities, the magic of getting things done is going to be different.
I'm trying to find a positive note to end on, Mo. Can you give me a hand here?
Yes, you are here now and everything's wonderful. That's number one. You are here now and you can make a difference. That's number two. And in the long term, when humans stop hurting humans because the machines are in charge, we're all going to be fine.
Sometimes, as we've discussed throughout this conversation, you need to make it feel like a priority. And there'll be some people that might have listened to our conversation and think, oh, that's really, negative. It's made me feel anxious. It's made me feel sort of pessimistic about the future. But whatever that energy is, use it.
100%. Engage.
I think that's the most important thing, which is now make it a priority.
Engage. Tell the whole world that making another phone that is making money for the corporate world is not what we need. Tell the whole world that creating an artificial intelligence that's going to make someone richer is not what we need. And if you are presented with one of those, don't use it. I don't know how to tell you that any other way. If you can afford to be the master of human connection instead of the master of AI, do it. At the same time, you need to be the master of AI to compete in this world. Can you find that detachment within you? I go back to spirituality. Detachment is for me to engage 100% with the current reality without really being affected by the possible outcome. This is the answer. The Sufis have taught me what I believe is the biggest answer to life.
Sufis?
Yeah, so from Sufism.
Sufism?
Yeah.
Don't know what that is.
Sufism is a sect of Islam, but it's also a sect of many other religious teachings. And they tell you that the answer to finding peace in life is to die before you die. If you assume that living is about attachment to everything physical, dying is detachment from everything physical. Okay? It doesn't mean that you're not fully alive. You become more alive when you tell yourself, yeah, I'm going to record an episode of my podcast every week and reach tens or hundreds of thousands of people, millions in your case, and I'm going to make a difference. But by the way, if the next episode is never heard, that's okay. Okay? By the way, if the file is lost, yeah, I'll be upset about it for a minute and then I'll figure out what I'm going to do about it. Similarly, we are going to engage. I think I and many others are out there telling the whole world openly, this needs to stop. This needs to slow down. This needs to be shifted positively. Yes, create AI, but create AI that's good for humanity. Okay? And we're shouting and screaming. Come, join the shout and scream. Okay? But at the same time, know that the world is bigger than you and I. And that your voice might not be heard. So what are you going to do if your voice is not heard? Are you going to be able to continue to shout and scream nicely and politely and peacefully, and at the same time create the best life you can create to yourself, for yourself within this environment? And that's exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying live, go kiss your kids, but make an informed decision if you're expanding your plans in the future. At the same time, rise. Stop sharing stupid shit on the internet about the new squeaky toy. Start sharing the reality of, oh my God, what is happening? This is a disruption that we have never, ever seen anything like. And I've created endless amounts of technologies. It's nothing like this. Every single one of us should do our part.
And that's why this conversation is so, I think, important to have today. This is not a podcast where I ever thought I'd be talking about AI. Going to be honest with you, last time you came here, it was in the sort of promotional tour of your book, Scary Smart. And I don't know if I've told you this before, but my researchers, they said, okay, this guy's coming called Mo Gawdat. I'd heard about you so many times from guests, in fact, that were saying, oh, you need to get Mo Gawdat on the podcast, etc. And then they said, okay, he's written this book about this thing called artificial intelligence. And I was like, ugh, but nobody really cares about artificial intelligence.
Timing,
right?
Stephen.
I know, right? But then I saw this other book you had called Happiness Equation, and I was like, oh, everyone cares about happiness. So I'll just ask him about happiness. And then maybe at the end, I'll ask him a couple of questions about AI. But I remember saying to my researcher, I said, oh, please don't do the research about artificial intelligence. Do it about happiness, because everyone cares about that. Now, things have changed. Now, a lot of people care about artificial intelligence, and rightly so. Your book has sounded the alarm on it. It's crazy. When I listened to your audiobook over the last few days, you were sounding the alarm then. And it's so crazy how accurate you were in sounding that alarm, as if you could see into the future in a way that I definitely couldn't at the time. And I kind of thought of as science fiction, and just like that.
Overnight.
We're here.
Yeah.
We're stood at the footsteps of a technological shift that I don't think any of us even have the mental bandwidth, certainly me with my chimpanzee brain, to comprehend the significance of. But this book is very, very important for that very reason, because it does crystallize things. It is optimistic in its very nature, but at the same time, it's honest. And I think that's what this conversation and this book have been for me. So thank you, Mo. Thank you so much. We do have a closing tradition on this podcast, which you're well aware of, being a third timer on the Diary of a CEO, which is the last guest asks a question for the next guest. And the question left for you: if you could go back in time and fix a regret that you have in your life, where would you go and what would you fix?
It's interesting because you were saying that Scary Smart is very timely. I don't know. I think it was late, but maybe it was. I mean, would I have gone back and written it in 2018 instead of 2020 to be published in 2021? I don't know. What would I go back to fix? So something more. I don't know, Stephen. I don't have many regrets. Is that crazy to say? Yeah, I think I'm okay, honestly.
I'll ask you a question then.
Mm-hmm.
You get a 60-second phone call with anybody, past or present. Who'd you call and what'd you say?
I call Stephen Bartlett. No, I call Albert Einstein, to be very, very clear. Not because I need to understand any of his work. I just need to understand what brain process he went through to figure out something so obvious when you figure it out, but so completely unimaginable if you haven't. So his view of space-time truly redefines everything. It's almost the only very logical, very, very clear solution to something that wouldn't have any solution any other way. And if you ask me, I think we're at this time where there must be a very obvious solution to what we're going through in terms of just developing enough human trust for us to not, compete with each other on something that could be threatening existentially to all of us. But I just can't find that answer. This is why I think it was really interesting in this conversation how every idea that we would come up with, we would find a loophole through it. But there must be one out there. And it would be a dream for me to find out how to figure that one out. Okay? In a very interesting way, the only answers I have found so far to where we are is be a good parent and live, right? But that doesn't fix the big picture. if you think about it, of humans being the threat, not AI. That fixes our existence today, and it fixes AI in the long term. But it just doesn't, I don't know what the answer is. Maybe people can reach out and tell us ideas, but I really wish we could find such a clear, simple solution for how to stop humanity from abusing the current technology.
I think we'll figure it out.
I think we'll figure it out. I really do. I think they'll figure it out as well. Remember, as they come and be part of our life, let's not discriminate against them. They're part of the game. So I think they will figure it out too.
Mo, thank you. It's been a joy once again, and I feel invigorated. I feel empowered. I feel positively terrified. But I feel more equipped to speak to people about the nature of what's coming and how we should behave. And I credit you for that. And as I said a second ago, I credit this book for that as well. So thank you so much for the work you're doing, and keep on doing it, because it's a very essential voice in a time of uncertainty.
I'm always super grateful for the time I spend with you, for the support that you give me, and for allowing me to speak my mind, even if it's a little bit terrifying. So thank you.
Thank you.
Quick one. I'm so delighted that Whoop are now sponsoring this podcast. I've worn a Whoop for a very, very long time, and there are so many reasons why I became a member, but also now a partner and an investor in the company.